Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we talk books, drink booze, and have beards.
All right. As always, I am Bob of Tales by Bob.
I'm the ass of the podcast, Derek.
I am creative consultant Tanya.
She is
Sort
indeed.
of plenty Tanya. I enjoyed these stories.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So this week's episode is brought to you by the Elderon Tales, an exceptional D&D experience that you don't want to miss out on. The Elderon Tales are a collection of stories happening simultaneously inside a vast fantasy landscape filled with undead horrors, elemental phoenixes, and warring nations. I really said that far too positively for the content there, but go to ilderontales.com. That's ILDERON tales.com. And there you can follow along with their 4 interconnected campaigns, or you can find them directly on YouTube. And you can support them on Patreon. Go just look up our boy Brandon Kennedy. He runs this ship. And yeah, he's great.
Hours and hours of entertainment right there for the taking.
A staggering amount of hours, really. I mean, it's 4 campaigns going on at once. It's fantastic.
He's a phenomenal DM for hire.
He is. You can hire him. I would hire him, but I just run my own stuff. I'm lazy.
No, I got this.
But not quite that lazy.
He would hire him, but he abandoned us.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
No. He moved out and did big things.
Moved to greener pastures. Got him a pretty girlfriend and living the dream.
Living his best life.
Got 2 little snippets of news. One, George Clooney grew a beard.
Doesn't he always kind of had a beard? Shadowy?
This is a beard.
Oh, a big
It's-
B beard.
Big B beard. It's substantial. It's surprisingly gray though. I had not realized
He's
how
old.
Does he ever seem old though? Like he
seemed old forever, but
Well, he's kind of always been salt and pepper and dashing.
Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
He's always seemed like the same age, and
It's the same as Brad Pitt. And Keanu Reeves.
well, Keanu Reeves is, I'm pretty sure,
A vampire?
well, I don't know about. No, that's Nick Cage. Nick Cage is the vampire.
Is he?
Have you not seen that?
Have you not seen that?
I've seen Nick Cage's everything.
No, they found a picture of someone in the Civil War that looks exactly like Nick Cage.
They've done the same thing with Keanu Reeves too.
Oh,
He's
okay.
everywhere all the time.
That's
Yeah.
a hell of a beard.
Show Tanya.
Oh well,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah, substantial beard.
Oh,
But very gray. Very
George
gray.
Clooney over there looking like a hot ass Santa.
Quite the snack.
Oh shit! Give me some of that salt and pepper over here, friends. He's always a handsome man, but that facial fluff just does it. Does it?
Well, so the other bit
Tanya's
of,
like, did it get hot in here, everyone? Like, what?
she's flush.
These cold mints are just so spicy. I don't know what to do with myself.
Other bit of news. So Jack Daniels has a new. They're jumping on the Apple bandwagon. And
I saw that
there's-
as a Snapchat filter.
Oh.
Yeah, there's now a Jack Daniels Tennessee Apple.
They really missed being able to call it Applejack, though.
Well, no, because they do they already have that Winter Jack.
That's
Remember
Winter Jack.
that Winter Jack? We tried it and it was awful.
Yeah.
it was
But I guess maybe
just
they can't call it
trash.
Apple Jacks because it's a cereal. But
Probably. But no, so Tennessee Apple. Mm-hmm. Well, also I think it goes with because they have Tennessee Honey and then
Right.
Tennessee Fire. Is that what
Tennessee.
that's their cinnamon? Yeah. So
I don't know. I'm a man. I
it
drink mine without flavor.
It fits the pattern, I think. So Tennessee Honey, Tennessee Fire, and then
Jackal.
Tennessee Apple. Jackal.
Jack Apple.
Jack Apple.
Look at this Jack Apple sumbitch over here. Jackal. I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
drink it.
It's going to be $27 for a 750 milliliter bottle, which is not bad.
No, that's not bad.
No,
Bean
so-
apple's cheaper than that, but
hey, do y'all want to do that for our liquor next month? We could.
ooh, I will fuck up some
Yeah, let's do that.
apple flavored
Well,
whiskey.
next month, for the month of November, our liquor will be Jack
Jackal.
Daniel's Tennessee Apple.
I
Is
love
it
it.
going to be out by then?
It's supposedly out now.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah,
then.
I saw it as a
So-
Snapchat filter, and I was like, oof, your girl's excited.
Yeah, so that's cool. I really like the Crown Apple.
It's real sweet.
The Beam Apple
Crown's
is
real sweet.
okay. I prefer the Crown apple, but that's you get what you pay for there. I mean, Crown is a lot more expensive. The Beam apple's not bad. If I'm drinking apple liquor, I prefer the Crown.
I feel like with Beam apple, I get less of the sweet appley taste and more of the.
Well, I was
taste.
reading. This apparently is a lot of them taste like someone just dumped a shit ton of apple sweetener into a thing, but this is apparently it's a whiskey with some apple.
So apple infused.
Yeah,
kind
like
of.
it feels more done well, I think. So what do you?
This is so weird. We have recorded this. I have sat here. We have talked about this, and you told me about apples. We're like, it's not really apple, but it's kind of apple. This is like the weirdest fucking deja vu.
Hold
like,
on, Tanya.
It's blowing my mind.
You could be just remembering when we discuss Clyde Maids, where we talk about the fact that it has a
No, not hints of apple. This is literally I have seen him do that hand movement with the dumping of the apples. Oh, deja vu is just so fucking weird.
deja vu.
The Matrix has glitched.
Okay, well
Everyone go listen to Deja Vu. The one that's
getting spoopy in
on
here.
Initial B.
Boopy.
All right,
But yeah, I'm really excited about that. We should do an apple whiskey like
tasting.
blind tasting.
Blind taste test. Ooh.
Yeah, have intern Corey in there.
Yeah.
Dump us some, and have us pick which one we think is it.
Okay, I like it.
Get a bunch of different apple liquors.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love it. Oh, it's apple picking because it's fall time. Apple picking season.
It'll be perfect. We'll do that. We'll do that for November.
What is wrong with your girl? Why is she?
Get some of that nasty ass Old Smoky apple pie. Throw that in there too. What if I don't know it's Old Smoky? Maybe I'll like it. Just kidding, I won't. It's awful.
I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
It's like, quote, moonshine, but it's
quote
apple pie.
awful.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna just drink them all and go, that tastes like apple. I don't know to tell you.
I want to do this so
Tastes like
bad.
somebody put apple in my whiskey.
We'll do it.
Oh, we could do that for the party. It could be bobbing for apples.
I had someone message me and be like, I figured out what you should be for Halloween. I was like,
Bobbing
what?
for
It's
apples.
like, you should be a bobcat. I was like, it's like at your party, you could have bobbing for apples. I was like,
Wow, you just did a lame laugh over these puns that are related to you and your person. Normally you're like super self-absorbed and love puns.
Yeah,
I don't
get
understand
it.
this.
I don't like it when other
Someone
people
else
come up.
comes
Yeah,
up with them.
I like it when I come up
Because
with
now
it.
he's like, now I can't.
Yeah, now I can't do that and act like I came up with it.
Oh, okay.
You're
Okay.
such a...
Jeez.
All right.
So you can be a British police officer and you're a
Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm a Bobby.
You would love that, Miss I Speak in British Accents.
I wanted to go to that Dragon Con panel so bad that was like how to speak British slang. And I was like, no, I already. Why go get reinforced what y'all already know?
So this is our short reads episode.
Okay.
If
oh,
you-
God. We just went so sideways.
We did.
I
So
went sideways.
If
Sorry.
you haven't read them yet, stop, go read The Sweetest Fruit of Summer by R.K. Duncan and A Song for the Leadwood Tree by Aimee Ogden. They
I know
are
that name.
Huh?
I know that name.
Aimee Ogden?
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Yeah, I recognize the name.
I don't know. Well, okay. So which one? Let's do Tanya. Which one are we doing first?
Let's do Sweetest Fruit of the Summer.
Okay, this is by R.K. Duncan. He is an author mostly of fantasy with a dash of science fiction and horror thrown in. He writes about fairies and gods and ghosts from a few rooms in a venerable West Philadelphia row home. In the shocking absence of any cats, he lavishes spare attention on cast iron cookware in his long-suffering and supportive partner.
Oh, he has a lot of cats.
Before settling... No, he has no cats.
In a shocking absence of cats?
Yeah, he has no... That's what it says, a shocking absence of cats. Because pretty much every author bio makes a reference to having a cat. Before settling on writing, he studied linguistics and philosophy at Haverford College. All right, Sweetest Fruit of Summer. I liked this story.
Yes. I
Garrett?
enjoyed it. Big much.
Did you like this story?
Both these stories were trash. No, I'm just fucking. No.
Personally offended.
Yeah, I actually. So yes, I liked this story.
Yeah.
I liked this one better than the other. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like this one.
I think I liked Sweetest Fruit better than Song of the Leadwood Tree, but
very specific reasons that we'll discuss later.
I enjoyed The Sweetest Fruit of Summer more, but A Song for the Leadwood Tree is the better written story.
I could get that.
We'll go into that when we discuss the other one.
But
yeah,
I enjoyed
Sweetest Fruit of Summer. Quick plot outline. The eldest daughter of this small kingdom.
Is she the eldest, or thought she was like the second eldest? Or some
she's
shit?
the eldest. That's why he's coming for her.
I thought
because they trained her younger sister to take over.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got crisscrossed on that.
Part of the
basically, the world building is there are all these kingdoms, and there's basically a roving Mongolian horde of sorts that rides around taking tribute. And the idea is they provide protection, and they just move in a big circle every year, taking tribute from their vassal states. And one of the tributes that they take is they take the main character to be the wife of their king. And the reason, as you learn, is because she has had such a soft life, as they call it. She can eat this fruit.
She's thick,
so she can eat this fruit that gives visions. And she works her way into this guy's good graces, and finally an opportunity comes, and she sicks him on her former home. He goes in there, kills her mom, and like everyone of any importance, and then in the night, she and a bunch of the slaves kill the king, and she takes over, and it's like, ooh, I'm boss bitch now. Fuck y'all.
Well,
I take over my old kingdom.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like she
doesn't take over the roaming horde,
right?
But that doesn't matter, though. She doesn't have to take over the roaming horde because most of the warriors are dead. And once
but the way you said it made it sound.
She now becomes the queen of her
the Greenlands or something like that. Yeah.
So that's the gist of the story. Thoughts, Tanya?
I really liked how, as they're traveling, she's like, this food's real hot, but I'm going to eat it anyway. And like, we kind of get to see the different areas of the country that these folks are traveling in through the food that she gets to eat, and how she's like, wow, I'm real upset, but this is probably going to be the last time I get to eat food that tastes like home, so I'm going to eat all that I can.
Yeah.
So
a lot of world building through food,
kind
of deal. Because like really and truly, you don't get a ton of, like, you get a fair bit of world building on this like roving army, but you don't.
The world itself,
you don't really get any from the vassal states,
right?
But you do through
the food,
and kind of like she gets some furs and she gets some things like that. So just the tributes.
Got a crown that look like waves.
Just little things like that show that there's a lot of variety to this world.
Yeah.
I got a weird amount of pleasure from the way that they describe that fruit, like the pomegranate like fruit, and her popping the seeds in her mouth.
Yeah.
Like that was just so sensual.
I liked how the first time there was like 7 seeds, and the next time there's 5 seeds, and the next time she's like, if I could get away with just eating one, bitch, I would, because I know what I'm telling you this vision's gonna happen regardless.
Yeah.
So,
well, she told the correct vision. She told what she saw. She just left out her involvement in it.
Yeah. Because she was like, I don't need you to interpret this one. I know exactly.
She saw
it's my
the vision.
Mom.
It describes her seeing this vision. Yeah. And when she comes out,
but didn't she leave off the?
She left off the tail end, which is about her.
Right.
So she told the vision, just not all the vision. So, yeah. Derek, thoughts?
I liked this one. Specifically because to me, I always have problems with short stories. Like they're not my thing, but I like when there is a total arc. You know what I'm saying? It had a complete
beginning, a middle, and an end.
Right.
She starts very scared and unsure of herself,
and it's not even necessary. It's just like we jumped into a thing and we witnessed a specific time period that does a certain thing. Like it shows her moving from point A to point B or to point C or whatever. So I appreciated that about it. And
well, you know, the like the hero's journey, you know, it like this has the full hero's journey because it actually has the return to home, and so you see how the journey has changed her. So like her when she left was very scared and very fearful, and when she comes back, she's the kind of woman that can plot and murder her husband kind of deal, you know, like, so it's very, very, very different.
I did appreciate that, yes, she was taken against her will to be this bride to the dead king or whatever his name was. But she was like, all right, well, let's be prepared to get raped. And he's like, no. I'm actually not into that. You don't want to just eat? Yeah. So I was like, great. But yeah, I appreciated that there was where most places would have been rapey. This was not rapey.
Well, that was the thing. It was like, that's not what you're here for. That's not what I wanted you.
Yeah, I mean, like, if that happens, cool, but that's not your job.
He's like, I just imagine in his head, he's like, I can bone anything. There's only certain people that can give me visions of the future.
Yeah. He's the Bone King.
Yeah.
Oh, Bone King. That's what it was, not the
Dead King. He can bone anything.
He's like, bitch, don't you know that I've been with this pack of ravaging people? I mean, like, I fucked everyone in town. I don't want to come home and have to do work also. Jeez. I cook at work all the time. I don't want to cook when I get home.
Yeah. I really like the description of the visions. I thought just the way talking about like how it felt like fire burning through her was really cool. I liked a lot of times like visiony fever dreams, stuff like that. I don't usually like it.
It's so vague, can't relate.
I can either take it or leave it. But this, it's
literally one of the things in books I hate the most.
Yeah, this was almost though because
this was fine.
Yeah, this didn't focus as much on the vision. It focused more on how it was affecting her. Yeah, you know, like, and sure, I mean, the vision comes out, and then you know, yada 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 stuff comes from that. But it was good. I really liked it.
I thought it was good.
It was an enjoyable read.
Yep.
So let's move on to A Song for the Leadwood Tree.
Okay. Nothing wrong with it. I liked it.
That was a very loaded okay.
No, it was good.
Yeah. So this song, the Song for the Leadwood Tree is by Aimee Ogden. Aimee Ogden is a former science teacher and software tester. Now she writes about sad astronauts, angry princesses, and dead gods. Her work has also appeared in Analog, Shimmer, Fireside, and previously in Beneath Ceaseless Skies, and she co-edits Translunar Traveler's Lounge, a new zine of fun and optimistic speculative fiction. I liked this story lesser of the two, but really only just fractionally. Like, this was quite an enjoyable tale as well. The first story I didn't have any problems with. This story I had one quibble with that I didn't particularly agree with, but we'll go into that.
What was it?
So vague.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, we're talking about this Leadwood Tree.
To give the
let it out.
Let it all out. Okay. All right. To give the overview of the story, the queen of this country, this country has become invaded by outsiders, and a plague strikes, kills a bunch of their people. The queen gets it. It greatly weakens her, but it kills her 2 daughters and heirs. Well, then in their society, they have basically a peacetime queen and a wartime queen. And when a peacetime queen becomes a wartime queen, when that is over, when the war is over, she has to leave.
Because once you've bloodied your hands, you're done here. Yeah. You can't be peaceful if you've solved your problems by killing people.
And so her 2 daughters were going to be the next, yada, yada, yada. It was all supposed to work out. Well, then her daughters are dead. Well, she finds an abandoned shepherd boy from it's never entirely clear. I assume Gombe is just another, like...
I think that just means, adopted.
Well, see, that's the thing.
I think it's more of like
I didn't know if Gombe was a title or if it was a group of people.
I think it's a title. I read it more as a title rather than like you're a Georgian person and I'm an Alabama person. It'd be like,
I actually thought it was the other way because she specifically referenced how he was a Gombe or whatever and stuff like that, and she like they reference it as if it's a thing with its own identity. So I assumed it was like a people that he didn't have.
That's the thing, like, and I can see both sides.
Right.
I can see it's a tribe of people. I can also see it's some sort of title,
just a phrase for an outsider or something,
or orphan or something like that.
I took it as like a low-key, maybe derogatory term that they use for
maybe. Well, it was capitalized though. Was the only that was the thing that like. So I don't know exactly what a Gombe child is. But he is one, and she basically takes him into battle with her. Like he's like a good luck charm, and she eventually declares him her heir, which is a big thing because
he's Gombe.
He's Gombe, whatever that is. He's about to become the king. It's a whole thing. They end up having one last climactic battle. Oh, along the way, she gets her tongue cut out. Why that's important is because before every battle, she would recite these poems to get everyone like hype and ready to fight. Well,
I imagine there's like battle songs. It's a poem, but it's more like just like a sing-songy battle chant.
Yeah. So it gets everyone hype, and then so she gets her tongue cut out, and she can't do them anymore. And the invaders think that they've really done something there. Well, she ends up being able to start a chant, like the final battle, without a tongue, and everyone kind of figures out what she's saying, and they all sing along, and it's a big moment. They win the battle. The son becomes the king, and then she's like, all right, I'm out. Okay. The problem I had was in that last battle. These Buskrutters,
yeah,
they have fought these people numerous times and know about these chants and everything. It just, to me, it was unbelievable that during this last fight that this chant happens and it scares away like a third of their army. If it was in some way magical, I need more of an indication that there's magic at play here, or that there's the work of the gods, or that there's something. That was my quibble, is like, these are hardened warriors that have fought a campaign against your people. They are no stranger to your battle chants. Why now does this battle chant scare them away? Yeah. That was my one quibble.
Yeah.
And that to me was what made the other one just slightly better. But that said, incredible story. Normally, I fucking hate when people write their own poems and drop it into a thing.
I thought those were good.
These were really good because most of the time,
real simple, straight, just
but like the first time you read them, a lot of times you don't get the meaning, but when you read them a second time after you've read the story, it's like, oh, okay, talking about the two trees falling. It's talking about her daughters, and, stuff like that. So those were exceptionally well done, which is really hard to do. Writing and writing poetry are two very different skill sets, and she clearly has the skill for both. Really appreciated that. Liked the battle scene the couple battle scenes that we saw. Thought they were well done. I really liked the way that the Gombe boy put the high priestess in her place.
I don't bow to anybody, bitch.
The king doesn't bow.
Yeah, that was great.
That was drop the mic, badass moment.
Especially because she was kind of.
Oh, that high priestess was being.
Oh, our king of plenty. Whatever.
She wouldn't even fucking look at him before. Yeah. It's like, are we going to pretend like this isn't even. Okay, fuck you.
Yeah.
Bitch ain't bound to nobody.
Yeah. Ugh.
Fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah. That was great. I enjoyed that.
All right, what are your thoughts?
It was great. I enjoyed that.
That's
literally just said that.
Like, no, I mean, like,
I've been giving thoughts.
Anything you want to add?
No, not really. I mean, it was. She got her tongue cut out, and just the way that she's drowning in her blood and not really sure exactly what's going on. Like, she felt it, and then also starts choking on her fucking blood at the same time.
That's normally what happens.
I know. I'm saying just the way it was described. And then like he picks her up and he's carrying her, leading her off, and then he stops puts a crown on her head, be like, fucking fix your face. Not going back. Not going to retreat without your crown. You're still the queen. And then just like scooting her on out.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat.
Yeah.
It was neat.
Derek?
So I kind of lied. I actually like this one. This one, the reason I liked the first one more than this one was because the first one to me was a contained story. This is bullshit, and I just want more. Like, that's not fair. Like, there's so much more going on here, and like that I'm not getting it. Like, I feel like that bothers me.
Well, my thing. All right, so the first story reads a lot more like a kind of older style fairy tale to a degree, or like folk tale. This story, so like just the way things are described, like talking about like the city with the plum trees and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's a very kind of like older style way of describing things. You get like in like Elric books or in like folk tales and stuff like that. Well, in this one, it's written in a more modern style to me. Like the description was just fucking incredible in some of these scenes. Like when she's talking about like she thrusts her spear and like shears off a couple of the buttons.
Yeah, and there's like you see the buttons flying.
Yeah, like I could see that clear as day. Like that was an incredibly well written scene, I thought.
I enjoyed her getting dressed and getting like, and then accidentally like her tongue starts bleeding a little bit, like her wound. And I didn't in the beginning at first.
I don't think it's her tongue bleeding. I think it's a holdover from the plague.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's basically like tuberculosis.
Oh, I thought it was just like, because at first I'm like, why the fuck she got just mouth coming? But then later,
cut and then it could have just like opened back up.
It could,
yeah, because that's what I thought it was. It's just like where
I just thought that there was a gap in time.
I don't know how much of a gap in time.
Yeah, we don't know how much.
I thought it was big enough that they're.
Here's why I think that's the right is because when she put the wine in her mouth and sloshed it around,
she held it and
the shit out of her. Okay. So it wasn't that it was coming from deep inside. Okay. It was that it was
her tongue thing. Yeah, at first I'm like, why do we have blood in our mouth here? And then later I'm like, oh. Yeah. And so just that scene where she's going out for this last battle, just like gotta look tough going out here. Can't let them see that they've beat me, even though they've cut my fucking tongue out.
Yeah.
And like bleeds on her shirt, and they're trying to scrub the blood out, and they're like, fuck it, put on armor. Like, I don't know. I can't fucking get this out. So I don't know. I enjoyed that.
But no, this was way more my jam. But it to me it just read more like something that I should have had more of, because the way I felt like this was like a last battle, like last hurrah, very like this should have been the end of a very good book that like detailed this person's life, because there was enough impact as it was, but there should have been more emotional impact to what was happening, because I should have spent more time with this character, if that makes sense. Like it was very clearly the end of the line. It would be like if we came into that other story and only saw in higher detail when she comes back home.
Yeah. Like
I didn't get the part, like you see bits and pieces, but you don't see why I don't know. It just
no, I see what you're saying. The first story was a more self-contained story. This one, you feel like you missed a lot of the story.
Right. Yeah, so. And it doesn't hurt that I just really liked how it was written and really liked the world.
God, it was written so well.
I was all there for like pretty much everything about it.
I really liked that style of government. I really liked that whole like.
Peacetime, wartime.
Yeah, peacetime, wartime, and
super
the wartime
cool.
has to retire. Like I would really like to read something with
a whole world with that being the political system, so that plays into how politics plays out.
Think about if you're the peacetime king, because most people want to do anything to stay in power. It's like no, don't go to war, don't go to war, just to try to maintain your seat. Because as soon as you go to war, you've lost your power.
Well, see, that's the thing is like like when
seeing that would be a fun dynamic,
and it would be interesting because like when shit gets real, it's like it's done now, because they're gonna have to restructure the whole society for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna have to pick it. There's gonna be a new ruler. They're gonna have to set up a new. Everything's gonna have to resettle. Like if you've done something to get to the point where we're going to war, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah, both of them really good stories. Really liked both of these.
Always fun to have a female protagonist.
I will be adding these two at Twitter on the Twitter, so that
you're gonna twat them.
Yeah, so they can hear this. Hopefully, they'll listen and like what we had to say about them.
Yeah, I liked both of these. Ignore the first 20 minutes where I go weird.
So you mean like the first 70 episodes?
Yeah, I was about to say, you mean all the other episodes?
Y'all brought me on here on purpose.
True.
That's accurate.
So, what are y'all? Well, we got a little time. What are y'all reading currently?
It would be shorter for me to tell you what I'm not reading.
Okay, so I finished Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy, which is our bi-monthly book club book.
It'll be coming. Right? Yeah,
yep.
It'll be coming out.
Y'all will get to hear that real soon.
It may not happen right at the end of this month. It may happen at the beginning of the
next month.
That
would give me a little bit.
You'll hear it soon.
We'll hear it in the next couple weeks, probably.
Yep. So you'll hear my thoughts on that. I'm in Mistborn number 3 right now, wrapping up that third Mistborn. I'm very excited.
Are you? How far are you?
I do audiobooks on these, so I'm 2 hours in. Okay. I think it's a 24-hour read.
Wrapping it up, and I was like,
"Well, I'm
what?
I'm wrapping up the series. Yeah, this trilogy.
I knew you were in the third one, so I was
very excited. Mm-hmm. So in my move, before my move, I was reading Contact by Carl Sagan, and then I packed all my stuff.
Can't find the book.
And I packed my book. I found my book. But so
it had already passed. You already started reading something else.
Technically, I guess I'm still reading Contact, but
yeah,
I'm gonna have to start over.
Yeah,
on that.
Okay, I'm listening to Blood Meridian. Mm-hmm. That is a complicated book.
Yes,
so far
it is.
Well, complicated my feelings about the book. I don't.
Yes, they will be.
Anyways,
I'm saving all my thoughts.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's a good point. I'll just
it's going to be an interesting episode.
Y'all remember that Dune episode?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Savage.
It won't be that bad.
So I'm
Derek
reading...
just cut Tanya a look.
So I'm also reading Jade War by Fonda Lee still. I haven't had much time to read that. Also, the light bulb in my lamp went out, and I keep forgetting to go get a new light bulb.
You are
Alexa, add a light bulb to my shopping list.
He doesn't have an Alexa.
I don't have one.
You know, for Black Friday, she gets to be like $20.
I don't care.
You can get a dot for $30.
I ain't got time for that. But no,
it's so great to be like, Alexa, tell Roomba to start cleaning. Bradbury is cleaning. It's great.
This bitch. Anyways, but no. So I kind of set that aside because it's an actual book, and I like to read in bed with my lamp. My lamp is currently dead, so it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going back to my Kindle until I can.
Why do you say it with such disdain?
Because
my Kindle.
Well, no, well,
I've honestly got to the point now where I have some books I want/need to read, but because they're not Kindle books, I just I want to read
The Martian.
And it's like, I could, but it's at the house. I'll have my Kindle with me.
Exactly.
I'm gonna pick one of the 100 books I have on here that I haven't read.
Well, I want to be reading Jade War, but my light bulb died, and it's like, well, I can either read in bed with the light on for my whole room, and then when it's time for bed, I got to get up and go turn off the light and get back to sleep. Or I can read in bed with my lights off and just read something on my Kindle before I go to bed. So that's what I've been doing. And the Robert Jordan book came out, Warriors of the Atali or something like that. I forget how to pronounce it right now, but I started reading that, and that's been interesting. I'm such a nerd because as I'm reading it, I'm making notes in it and being like, oh, this is a thing that he very clearly took. Because for people that don't know, this book is by Robert Jordan. He wrote it before The Wheel of Time, but for certain circumstances, he switched publishing houses and things like that. It fell between it didn't get published. And when he got publishing rights back, he was already midway through. Wheel of Time had already blown up, so there was no point in him pursuing this. So, but there's in a lot of ways, it is proto Wheel of Time. So there's ideas and terms and stuff like that are in Wheel of Time that you see play out in these books, and it's a lot of fun because it's you'll see. It's really interesting because I thought I was the only person, but Bob, you'll probably know this. Think about a story that you had an idea for and you started writing and then you didn't like it, or for whatever reason you scrapped it. but there was something like there was a name or like an idea that just like really grabbed you and you're like, well, fuck, I'm not writing that story anymore. I'm going to repurpose that for this story over here. There's that a lot in there. So like you'll see stuff mentioning like wisdoms, and I'm like, okay, so he liked that term from when he wrote this book, and then this book never got published. It was like, well, I'll be damned if I'm not going to use that term, that as a title again, because I like that being a title. So he used it in the other book, or he used it in Wheel of Time. So I keep finding things like that, and I'm like, this is fun. But yeah, it's been fun. It's a fairly short book. It's only like a 10-hour read according to the speed I'm going at. But there's other books I'm still halfway reading, just depending on how tired I am.
Okay. I just finished on Audible Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson. It's cyberpunk. Some people have called it a satire on cyberpunk, but it's one of the seminal classics of the genre. Didn't really like it. I liked parts of it, but it took a super weird turn into Sumerian linguistics. I wish I was making that up. And like the back half of the book is all about Sumerian linguistics and proto-languages, and I don't know. It was not what I read sci-fi, or not what I read cyberpunk for. Yeah. So, and like a lot of the cyberpunk elements are just blown way over the top kind of deal. In this setting, pizza delivery boys, it's like 30 minutes or less, or you can basically sue the pizza company, but the mafia owns the pizza company. So like
good fucking luck.
Well, no, they do it. I mean, they have to. Like they made a contract with you to deliver it within 30 minutes. So all the pizza cars can drive like 200 miles an hour, and they have ovens in the car. Like it's just so over the fucking top, you know? It's like it had parts I really liked, but it was just for everything I really liked, there was something I didn't like.
Yeah.
But then I just read The Dragon's Banker, which was great. That book was awesome. The premise, this fantasy kingdom, is about to switch over from gold, like the gold system, to paper money. Mm-hmm. And this dragon, who no one like, dragon. It's one of those things. Dragons aren't real, but yeah, there is a dragon, and he's freaking out because he thinks, well, shit, if we're all switching to paper money, my hoard is going to be worthless, and so he hires a banker to. It's like, okay, well, convert my wealth into.
I thought this was going a different direction,
and it's fantastic.
That's great.
It is.
If I was a dragon, I would not want a stack of paper money. That just seems like a fire.
Well, everything I've ever heard, they like to sleep on the gold.
I'm not even. I don't want to spoil stuff, so it's.
I thought this was going a direction where you were like, so he hired this banker to ruin the world's economy so that they couldn't switch over, and he had to stay on the gold standard. I'm like, that's way more interesting.
No, you got it's on KU. It's great. Really, really liked it. After that, I read Cartwright's Cavaliers. It's the first book in a military sci-fi series.
I recognize the name.
It's by Mark Wandry, and it was good. It was honestly one of those things like I really like books where it's like basically the premise of this book is this kid is there are the 4 horsemen military, like back up. In this world, Earth is part of the Union. The Union is like all the alien races in the universe. There's thousands upon thousands of these races are all together. They're all under control of the Union. Well, there are no one really has armies. Everyone just hires mercenaries. And humans are one of like a dozen or so races that make good mercenaries.
Right.
Of the human mercenaries, when they first started, there were 100 companies. They went and got involved in this war, and only 4 came back. And they call them the 4 horsemen. They're like the 4 most prestigious mercenary companies.
That's cool.
This kid is the heir to Cartwright's Cavaliers, which is one of the 4 horsemen. Well, he turns 18 and basically gets served as like, hey, his dad had died, and his mom had run the company into the ground without telling anybody, and like the company basically gets seized, like all its assets and everything. So him as an 18-year-old boy has to rebuild this company basically from the ground up, and that part is super interesting, super fat. I really love stuff like that where it's like there was another book I read back in the day called Canby's Legion, which is this guy like buying like a mercenary ship, doing a contract, like, okay, well, now I got enough money to add a second ship and hire some guys. And so I love stuff like that. The combat parts of it I could take and leave, really just very par for the course military sci-fi, but the whole like building the company aspect is really interesting.
I mean, it's like a prolonged
assembling the team.
Yeah. It's the best part of anything ever.
Yeah. But so I finished that. I picked up the other 3 books in this. All right, this series has a shit ton of books, and they're not all. It's kind of cool what they did. It's like a shared universe. Mark Wandry and this other guy are the main authors. So they've written a bunch of the books, but some other people have been brought in for other books and the short story anthologies.
That's cool.
And they're like in arcs. So there's like 13 books in the first story arc.
Yeah.
But there's 4 books are like the core story, and then the other books flesh out.
So it's like Civil War 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then all the offshoots of like X-Men Civil War.
Exactly. So and then they did a second arc of stories, and now I think they're on the 3rd arc of stories.
That's cool.
I picked up a collection of the first 4, like the 4 main books, and each one is based on one of the 4 horsemen. So it's Cartwright's Cavaliers, and then so I picked that up. I'm going to read those pretty soon. But I started The Calculating Stars by Mary Robinette Quall.
That's another one I'm reading.
I just started it, and so far I'm like
good.
3 chapters in. It is really good. Already, it's really good.
Yeah. Well, that's why it won awards.
Yeah. I see why. Like, if it keeps this quality going, I see why it won awards.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah. I don't know. Good. I need to get back to it, but it's one of those that like there's just so much to fucking read.
Yeah.
That's life, man.
I saw someone did like
more books to read than there is time.
I saw someone do a calculation of like he's like, you know, at the rate I read, like, because someone asked like, do you reread books?
And he's just like, I can't.
And like this one guy was like, I've done the math. It's like, if I get to live to be 80, that gives me this many years. I read this many years of book. At best, I'm going to get to read like 1,400 more books. And that's such a tiny fraction if you think of
the books that are written or available.
Of the books, just in fantasy, that come out that you would want to read is like, and like
I don't reread.
I used to reread a ton, and like now that really kind of put into perspective is like, man, there's just so many more worlds to explore.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
The only reason I'll reread something is if it's to like for this, like y'all read it. Or we all read it, or now I need to reread it to freshen up for the podcast or something like that. But otherwise, I ain't got time to reread.
Nope. Ain't nobody got time for that.
I'm canceling like all of my subscription services because I need. Well, first of all, I need the money. Second of all, because I need to cut these things out so that I have more time to do reading.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to stop. I'm about to cancel Netflix.
Well, like there's only 24 hours in a day, and we only live so many years. I mean, you like to think.
Sleep.
Work just lays me out during the week most of the time.
Time is super precious, so you have to prioritize what do you actually value with your time. That is the one, God, this is getting stupid. This is a really old people thing, but like time is the one thing that you can't make more of.
Right.
So you can go make more money and buy more things, but how you choose to spend your time shows what you actually value in life.
And that's where I really start questioning things like, why the fuck am I spending all this time with YouTube? Jesus
Christ. That's fair.
Let's end this.
That's fair. That's a good point to end.
How did you get voted favorite?
Well, because I like them. It's you two I'm questionable about.
That's fair. That's fair. Jesus.
I'm sorry. That was too easy.
Haters gonna hate. All right. Well,
see if you get any tricks or treats for Thanksgiving. Halloween. I did it again.
Oh, I thought you did it on purpose.
God damn it.
I did it again. What is wrong with me?
Oh my God. You need to turn off.
Oh my God.
Turn it off.
I haven't had enough spoopies.
May the blessing of the beard be fucking upon you, because it surely ain't on fucking Tanya.
Oops. Thanks for listening to this episode of Books, Beards, Booze. Our co-hosts are Bob, Derek, and Tanya. Our producer is Bob. For more information, visit our website, booksbeardsbooze.com. Follow our social media at Tales by Bob. If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate, subscribe, and share. Okay, bye.